It's Miles Sanders like last week. Well, there's Jalen Hurts from the pocket against the Commanders, whether it was the dynamics of Jalen Hurts in week 2 against the Vikings. This guy can beat a number of ways. Then you flip it over to their defense. They're super strong at the D-line and the defensive backfield. They stripped Trevor Lawrence 5 times, some kind of crazy number. This team is complete, and they're playing the best in the league.
Kmart, the flip side. What's the biggest disappointment in the NFL?
Oh, my gosh. To me, it's the Raiders. Because you could say the Colts, right? But we actually had high expectations for the Raiders. You literally got the best receiver in the game to team up with his best friend. And you're like, oh, the chemistry. Oh, it's going to be great. It's going to be amazing. The Super Show in Vegas. And it's been such a disappointment. And it's sad because this team has too much talent, especially with Darren Waller, Josh Jacobs, too much talent to be that bad.
Neek, who's the MVP of the league right now?
There he is, Micah Parsons. What we expected from the Cowboys was not a very successful or impressive season. What we're getting is one of the NFC contenders, and the reason why is because the pressure that defensive line is creating. Defensive line is creating pressure because they have a lot of good players, but in large part because they have one very, very unique special player that is changing the way that offenses have to approach them and is buying them time. As much as we want to celebrate Cooper Rush, the impact and the reason why this team is having success is because of their defense, and by far the best player in that defense is Micah Parsons.
He's been good. How about you, Jeff? Who's your MVP at this point?
Good.
He's been good.
Josh Allen, and it's not close. Listen, this guy has more offensive production than 15 NFL teams. That's insane. He's their leading rusher. He's their leading passer. He's got 12, and he's leading the league. This guy throws darts. When big games and big moments, he pulls it down, runs with his legs. Whatever you ask of this guy, he's the best player in the NFL right now. And I get everybody falls in love with different quarterbacks. This guy does it in big moments. I love what he's doing. He's MVP.
Kmart, who's the MVP?
Yeah, I'm still going to say Lamar because of what is asked of him. I think John Harbaugh deciding to go for it because he has an MVP player in Lamar Jackson. I think that was proof. I think this defense, this Ravens defense, another disappointment. You literally need Lamar. He accounts for almost 90% of their offensive yards. It's insane.
I think you've all overlooked the obvious. There is a team in the National Football League that after week 1 of the season, every person I have on this set buried. Damian Woody put his thumb down. Their season is done. Rex Ryan said they're dead. Marcus Spears, the former Cowboy, said they're dead. And then Cooper Rush resurrected them. Cooper Rush has single-handedly kept alive the season. He's the backup quarterback of whom nothing was expected. He looks like a phys ed teacher at a high school, and he goes running out there, and he's 3-0, and he actually has the highest QBR of any quarterback in the sport when pressured this season. You guys are out of your mind. Why is everyone laughing?
Cooper Rush doesn't even think he's the MVP.
Yeah, Cooper Rush is literally watching this like Greenie stop.
Like, you make it hot. You make it hot.
They'll give you a box in Dallas. That's what I do know. Cooper Rush, Jared, they're all bringing you down, bro. You are unbelievable.
Surprising.
So you expected the backup quarterback to come in there, the offense to look better and win 3 straight games.
You know what? I didn't expect their offensive line to play as well as they did. Their 2 running backs to take over their defense to completely shut people down. They've scored. The highest score is 25 points.
I think they took him. I think he was on the developmental. What's the word? The practice squad. Like the week before. They're paying him like $85 a week to play, and he's winning games every single week. He's a bargain, for crying out loud. All right, where are we going next? I can't believe. We're talking about now 3 weeks removed from having surgery on his thumb. Yesterday, Jerry Jones was talking about the status of his quarterback. He is not ruling Dak out for the game against the Rams on Sunday. Here's Jerry.
It's better. He's going to go out there every day and make progress toward being able to grip the ball. Considering the location of the injury, I don't know that you could make any more progress.
Is he able to grip the football now?
No, not well enough to play. We're just starting the week. Let's see how the week goes.
Okay. I mean, there's nothing I love more than weekly medical updates from Jerry Jones on the thumb of Dak Prescott. Here's our insider extraordinaire. What do we know about Dak's thumb and the possibility he's on the field against Aaron Donald and company Sunday?
The man can't grip a football yet. Like Jerry said it, and I think it probably pained Jerry to admit that, but that's the truth. If you can't even grip a football, and did we not see Jimmy Garoppolo staring down Aaron Donald. Like, Aaron Donald is coming his way. Why would you want that for Dak? I think, first of all, physically he's unable to grip football, so that's why him playing is beyond unlikely. But also, when you look at the opponent that you're facing, I just think it's a recipe for disaster.
Look, I mean, if Cooper Rush has done nothing else, and he's done a lot, he has bought time, right? I mean, he has bought the luxury, something we did not think, Dominique, that the Cowboys would have, which is the luxury of time.
Yeah, I think a lot of us are concerned about how much pressure Cooper Rush playing well puts on Dak, but it really takes the pressure off of him to rush back. We should hope so. I don't understand what it must feel like to be a franchise quarterback for a team and see someone else having that success. I'm sure that drives Dak to want to get back even more, but he needs to understand that right now they got a couple wins in the bank, and the most important thing is that he is healthy for the stretch run, because they're a better team than we thought, in the NFC is a little bit up in the air outside of Philadelphia right now.
That's right. And yet people aren't buying. I got a bone to pick with you Saturday. And I'm going to show everybody. Yesterday, as I was doing the radio show that I do right after this, someone handed me a copy of the new ESPN.com power rankings. And I'm perusing them. Chiefs over the Eagles. I'm not sure I buy that. I'm looking down. Where the heck are the Cowboys? How about my Cowboys? I mean, I told you after week 1 they weren't dead. Now they win 3 straight games, and our power rankings don't even have them in the top 10. Saturday, what gives?
Yeah, listen, they see Cooper Rush, and they're thinking we're not crowning them until they go beat somebody. Listen, who they beat, and again, you can only play who's on your schedule, but when you beat the Commanders, I mean, those aren't teams that are turning heads quite yet. And so for Cooper Rush, the defense has played lights out. The run game has been much better. Kellen Moore's done a fantastic job, but people aren't buying that if they played the teams ahead of them, they would beat them. And again, I'm one of those guys. Now, I would have them in the top 10, but I would not have them in my top 5 or 6 like a lot of people do for that exact same reason. You still have a backup quarterback starting in Dallas, and that is just facts.
Well, I'm just going over the competition here. So the Cowboys were not impressed with them. The Eagles, I have it here. They beat the 85 Bears. They beat the 27
Yankees. To be fair, Greeny has a point. Greeny has a point. Because when you look at the Eagles' schedule, who have they beaten?
I get it. But they're going to still have an easy schedule. They're undefeated.
I don't want to turn this into an Eagles conversation, but I mean the Eagles have dominated the teams that they've played. Also, the Cowboys.
They were losing 14-0 to Jacksonville on Sunday.
And then from that point forward, it was quite clear. They caused 4 fumbles that they were the superior team. But I think Dallas, the teams that they've beaten, haven't been very impressive. But the way that they beat them, I think, was kind of impressive. And if we are to assume that Dak's going to come back at some high version of himself, I think that we're projecting some of the power ranking, and I have Dallas in my top 5, and it's because I respect.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, I respect the defense enough to know that if they can keep Cooper Rush in these games, he can continue to play well, and I believe that Dak's going to come back healthy.
The power rankings, this is what drives me crazy, because I don't think you're not looking at teams equally, because I think if you're going to kill the Cowboys for their schedule, you got to kill the Eagles for their schedule. I think obviously the defense for the Cowboys is what keeps them afloat. But when you saw Dak in week 1, he played against Tampa. Yeah. Like that, that's an upper echelon team, at least right now. So I understand power rankings. I get why we have them, but this is the problem, because we're looking at this team with Cooper Rush.
I mean, you're comparing them to the Eagles, though. We're saying the top 10. Like, the Bengals are in front of them. I think they've had a more impressive start to the season than the Bengals have. Just get them in the top 10.
And the Cowboys are going to add a top 10 quarterback at some point relatively soon to their mix. They're about to get by far the biggest injection of talent that any NFL team is going to get, OBJ or otherwise, and we're going to talk about him a little bit later. They're doing this without their quarterback.
I mean, and the Dolphins are at 5, and they also are without their quarterback right now. So there's some inconsistencies, I think, in that don't make sense. The Ravens have blown a couple close games. The Eagles.
So the Ravens play the Cowboys tomorrow. Who you pick?
I'm going to Ravens.
Thank you.
That's the issue. Like, when I go power rankings, and this is what I ask people all the time. Okay, so the people in front, like, let's play them tomorrow. Who wins the game? And if you go Cowboys, I get it. Push them up in your top 5. He did yesterday, and now he's backing away.
I'm not backing away. They're still in my top